access for MLB The Show 24 has begun, and a lot of people have been asking me, what are you going to do first? This is going to be the ultimate beginner's guide to Diamond Dynasty, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and what you should be targeting first. A lot of these steps are actually going to be fairly simple, but there is a path that you should take to ultimately get your team better at an efficient pace. So the first thing you're going to want to look at are your pre-order packs. Now, I've already taken my pack, so I can't show you the pack itself, but the guys that I took are Andrew Miller and Martin Dihigo. Now, the thing is, Andrew Miller, he's a bullpen arm. You need bullpen arms early in this game. You see his attributes at 108 hits per nine, 101 Ks per nine. He throws slider, sinker, fastball. He has a weird animation. I'm not going to call him meta because I don't want to really be like that person, but this is a card that early on is actually going to be one of the better relievers we see in the game. In previous years when he's been in the game, he was always a good pitcher to have, and the fact that we're getting a 90 overall this early, this is a really good card to go get immediately, especially for free. Same thing with Dihigo. Now, although he can pitch as well, I actually probably don't recommend pitching him to 66 hits per nine. He probably will get hit up a little bit, but if you do need a starter, you could use him as a two-way player as a starter and then throw him a DH for him to hit as well. Now, a big reason I chose this card is that he plays literally every single position. So early on in the year, typically there's always like those one or two positions that you're really having a hard time trying to plug in. I mean, he is quite literally the ultimate versatility player. I mean, even look at his hitting. His hitting is insanely good. So, when you have 85 fielding, really good hitting, and then on top of it, he has 83 speed. I mean, this is just a really good card to start off with, and like I said, just like Andrew Miller, you're getting him for free. Pick this card, it's going to be worth it. Now, when it comes to your Cornerstone captain, I recommend using Byron Buxton. This is something you can kind of play with depending on what type of team that you build. Buxton, it's the low vision captain. You get boosts based off of your vision, under 60 vision for the ability to boost. Now, this is actually one of the better ones solely just because a lot of guys with a low vision end up having good stats. Anyway, they also get the plus 10 fielding and the plus 10 speed to kind of help them out. The other captains are still good. You can still definitely build a fantastic squad with the other captains. The other one that I might recommend is Kodai Senga. Kodai is just a really good pitcher overall. But I think ultimately Byron Buxton is going to be the pick. But again, you choose what you want. This is the beauty of MLB The Show. I can recommend all these different things, but at the end of the day, play with what you play best with, and that's going to be the best way to go. Now, the biggest thing to remember this early in the year, do not buy packs. Packs, the odds are greatly against you. Solid chance you're not going to get anything. The only pack I would maybe recommend buying, not even recommend, but if you want to buy one, buy this one. Buy the jumbo pack from the store. That's a really good live series starter. I bought one the night of, and I actually pulled 2 diamonds out of it, so there's a small chance you can get something like that. But I would not recommend spending money on packs. It's a better idea to go off and save your stubs and then just go out and buy the guys that you need. Speaking of guys that you need, your ultimate goal should be going towards the Live Series collection. And as you can see, the Live Series collection is 95 Rafael Palmeiro for the AL, 95 Pedro Martinez for the NL, and 99 Babe Ruth for the entire MLB. Now, obviously, these are guys that you should be working towards. And, I mean, if you're pulling high overall players, do not sell them. Make sure you're applying them to these programs because Palmeiro, Pedro, and Babe Ruth will all be fantastic cards, but not even just right now, but even several months down the road. SDS even said on their stream that Babe Ruth is going to stay the best hitting card in this game, and honestly, his hitting stats are maxed out, so you really can't make it much better. At the same time, you're also going to be wanting to work on the Seasons collection, so let's be going through programs, Team Affinity, and we'll get to that in a minute, the best ways to do that. But obviously, you want to start working your way towards George Brett, Satchel Paige, and Willie Mays. Again, similar to Babe Ruth and Palmeiro and Pedro, these cards are going to be really good. Granted, yes, you're not going to be able to use them after Season 1 unless you wildcard them. However, at the same time, these cards are insanely good, and there's a lot of promise with them bringing them into next season if you choose to wildcard them. So the first thing I recommend focusing your efforts on is going to be the Team Affinity programs. Now, Team Affinity has returned from MLB The Show 23. SDS said on their streams that this year's Team Affinity is going to be the easiest complete out of all the Team Affinities we've ever seen, so hopefully that's actually the case. I mean, I haven't really tested it yet, but this is going to be the best way to get good cards and work your way towards other collections. Not only are you just getting like just the good players from Team Affinity alone, but you're also going to be getting packs along the way. You know, like I said, you don't want to be spending your stubs on packs. You'd rather be earning those packs anyway, because if you do pull something, you're not spending stubs to actually do it. You know, when you're early in the game, you want to save your stubs for the super high expensive cards, but if you could pull them, that's even better from a free pack. Looking at what you need to do to actually complete these, now for me, these vouchers might be one of the better ways. The showdowns are going to be repeatable. Every time you complete the showdown, you get 4 vouchers. So I know that's a lot. You have to do it like a 70-ish times per division, so that's why I'm not kind of recommending only doing showdowns. Showdowns is a really good way to kind of fill gaps or catch one division up, but I wouldn't solely just do showdowns. But you do get 2,800 TAXP per voucher. Like I said, with the showdown, you get 4 each every time you complete it, but I wouldn't recommend doing showdown as the only method. I would start with showdown and then work your way from there. It's also important to be doing the moments for this. Now, the moments, I believe there's anywhere between like 4 to 5. So these moments typically have the most XP opportunity for time. For example, especially if you're better at the game, you know, this moment right here is super easy. Tally 1 extra base hit with Cedric Mullins. It's an automatic 3,000 TAXP. This is going to be probably the place where you want to start for anybody. Do moments and showdowns first in any order, doesn't really matter, and then work your way into other things. Now, what is that other thing? Now, the other thing you're going to want to work into after moments and showdown is Conquest. Conquest is a really big moment. It's a really big place where you can build your cards and get TAXP. Obviously, completing the Conquest alone, you're getting 30,000 TAXP just for that. But on top of that, if you're using the cards from Team Affinity, if you're getting PXP missions done, single player missions, stat missions, you're also getting those done at the same time. So if you're getting 30,000 from Conquest alone, and you complete, let's say, 3 of the single player missions, you get 10,000, 15,000, 10,000, that's 65,000 TAXP just right there. Now remember, for these conquests that there are only 3 of them, so the East, Central, and West. If you do the one for the East, it'll apply to both East divisions. If you are a March to October player, I don't actually recommend using this for Team Affinity alone, as it gets a little grueling. You'll have to do it a bunch of times. But I would recommend playing it on All-Star if you do that. Anything below All-Star, the average of the TAXP isn't high enough to really warrant anything. At least if you get to the 80,000 here, I mean, you do it twice for a division, and then you can use Showdown to kind of wrap it up and finish it. Again, not the best way, not the most efficient way, but it is an option that you can do. Now, looking at the early starter programs that we see, there is the actual starter program. Now, this is probably the best card coming out of that program. Yes, his fielding is absolute shit, but look at his hitting. This is going to be one of the better bats of the game in the early access part of this year. At the end, there's Sandy Alcantara. Again, he's pretty good as well. I'm not really 100% sure if I personally would run him. My bullpen, my starting pitcher, I got to see if it actually is compatible with this card, see if it's better than anybody else who's in my squad. But this is a really good starter program. You can get everything out of the way super quickly. And along the way, you get packs. You know, that's kind of like the main purpose of a lot of the early access stuff. It's just play the game, grind the game, do moments, programs, conquest, showdowns. Just get as many packs as you can, get as many stubs as you can from those packs, and work that towards live series collection. Looking at the spring breakout program, there are a lot of great cards, and it's obviously capped off with the 89 overall Dylan Cruz. Similar thing, really, really, really good card. But similar to the other ones, do the showdown, do the moments first. From there, you could then do PXP missions and general missions. These missions are actually really easy. Like, for example, get 10 extra base hits with first baseman. 25 total bases with any catcher. This is not even specific to the program. It's quite literally any player in the game. I mean, this is just simple. It's really easy to get done, and you get really good cards and packs out of it. If you are wanting a lot of packs and you do want to grind a decent bit for it, you can do the USA map. Now, obviously, yes, you have the pack opportunities, but you also have the ability to just get good cards, the 85 AJ Pollock, 85 Mark Melanson, Orlando Cepeda, Troy Percival, Carlos Rodon, David Ortiz. There's a bunch of packs in this. This is going to be one of the longer conquests that you're going to do. I typically just kind of work on it as I'm doing other stuff, and I get bored, I come back to this. But this is a good way to get good cards. Just, you know, it's your typical conquest. But it's one of the better ways to get early stuff in this game. It just takes a little bit of time. For mini seasons, strangely as this might sound, I really don't recommend mini seasons. I think the amount of time that it takes for the rewards that you get, it's really not worth playing. I mean, if you want to play it, if you're a mini season player, by all means, play it. But if you're looking for the most efficient way, I don't think mini seasons is the way to go. Now, keep in mind, going through everything early in this game, you're going to be getting XP for just about everything that you do, working towards the Season 1 XP program. So you're going to be getting a lot of great cards just by playing the game, getting Team Affinities done. Ultimately, man, I think that's just going to be the best part of this year's game. Just like every year with MLB The Show, you get rewarded simply by playing the game. And I think that's one of the bigger things that you could have in a sports title, especially for an ultimate team builder. But you do want to work in the method that I showed if you want to be the most efficient possible. But boys, that is going to be all for today's video. As always, I appreciate you for watching this. I'm going to make sure that this is the most method way. I'm going to be streaming this game every single day. Let me know who you chose as your Cornerstone captain. I'm actually really curious to see if most people took Buxton or another type of player. Let me know what you think of the content so far. I'm a big fan of a lot of this, but let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you in the next one.